Hello, good morning, all of you. Welcome back to the strategic management class. In the last class, we came to know about liquidation strategy, endgame strategy. So, based upon the company and its position, we need to apply various kinds of strategies you need to pick up from the market. So, if you think like that, today we are going for one more variety kind of strategy approach, which is nothing but a tailoring strategy to fit specific industry. As we already very much aware that the industries are very much categorized into different types of industries based upon the basic product or services whatever they produce. Like software industries are there, medical industries are there, the industries which produces automobiles. So based upon the product or services whatever they are producing, offering to the market, the industries are different. The kind of strategies which are going to be applied for software industries may not be suitable for automobile industries. Same way, the plans or else the policies whatever being applied to the automobile industries may not be suitable for the pharmaceutical industries. So we need to go for some adjustments, some editing process, some changes. What do you call such a kind of fitting the proposed strategy to the wanted industries called as a tailoring strategy. So here a firm does the same thing in the marketplace as what the army do in the battlefield. Generally, doing a business is just like doing a war. There might be you find in the war losing of the lives, but here we are going to observe losing of the future of the company itself. So same kind of attention, same kind of sincerity is required, like a soldier to a businessman also to get success in the market. If the managers of a company are unable to develop strategy appropriate to market situations, they will survive simply to lament for their failures. You see here. So just like a army general, army major, or else a soldier, which way implement the pre-planned procedures in the war field, same way the businessmen need to apply those procedures in the war like market. So generally tailoring means nothing but the adjustments according to the industry where the company has been existing. So you know the difference between industry and as well as the company. So what are the common approaches when you go for tailoring or adjusting, changing of the strategies? So these are the three very very important approaches. Like the first one is a strategic choice matrix. Here the matrix kind of information will be provided based upon the product and as well as the market which is being offered, like new product, new market, old product, old market, isn't it? Combinations will be selected. Based upon the expected outcome, the particular approach will be followed. So what do you call this kind of approach? The strategic choice matrix. The next one is SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Overall way, the company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, threats will be analyzed. Based on that also, the tailoring kind of operations will be performed on the proposed strategy. The next one is the portfolio strategies or portfolio analysis. So under portfolio analysis, the kind of product or the service should be offered, the differentiation should be created while offering the product or services. All these informations will be analyzed. So for going for tailoring of the strategy, right? So let us see here. This is called the portfolio analysis, systematic way to analyze the products and services to make up an association business portfolio. Some of these includes publishing, meeting and conventions, education and training, government representation, research, standard setting, all these things. Right? So this is what do you mean by tailoring strategy to fit the specific industry? So after discussing the tailoring strategy to fit the specific industries, now we go for the next very very important topic, what we call this competitive analysis. As you all know that the competition is essential and which will be there when the company business is doing their operations in the market. So when a company is doing its businesses, it should always observe what the competitors are also doing, their strategies, their strengths, their weaknesses. Based upon that, the appropriate adjustments need to be made by that respective company in order to have that edge over on the competitors. If you are unsuccessful in analyzing the kind of competition existed in the market, it's very difficult to get the success. Suppose let us take automobile companies are there, like Maruti Suzuki company is there, Hyundai company will be there. So at the beginning of every financial year, they are going to release various models, competitive models, in terms of the price, in terms of the features which are being offered, in terms of the services provided to the customers after selling the product. Like various aspects they will consider, they always will be planning to win over on what you call the existing competitors. So what you call such a kind of analysis, competitive analysis. Let us see here. The competitive analysis in strategic management is an assessment of strengths and weaknesses of current and potential competitors. So this analysis provides both an offensive and as well as defensive strategic context. Profiling combines all of these relevant sources of competitor analysis into one framework in the support of efficient and effective strategy formulation, implementation, and as well as the monitoring adjustment. So these are the purposes of the competitive analysis. Let us take any company, isn't it? It's always wise to observe its competitors and the procedures what they are adopting. Being wide open eyes are very very important while conducting the business in the market. Now let us see here, generally for the competitor analysis, what drives the competitor and what the competitor is doing or capable of doing. That means the setting up of the objectives and as well as assumptions are important. Through this one, the competitor response will be identified, what you call that, strategies and as well as the resources and capabilities. Okay. So this is the in the form of picture to represent the competitive analysis. Okay. So these are the components of the competitor analysis, like objectives would be there, current strategy, assumptions, capabilities. Based upon that, so these are the responses. What will occur? What will our competitors do in the future? Where do we hold an advantage over our competitors? How will this change our relationship with our competitors? So this ends your third unit. So under third unit, you came to know various types of industry life cycles and different types of strategies. Very important unit this one. Now we are entering into the fourth unit. So which is nothing but alternative strategy development. So now we are entering into the fourth unit. What is that? Alternative strategy development. What do you mean alternative strategy development? So strategy itself is nothing but a long-term goal. So in the long term, where the company should be, what should be the expansion of the company, what kind of products or services should be offered to the market. So all these plans, policies, procedures having before itself is nothing but the strategy. Then what do you mean alternative strategy? The alternative strategy is nothing but it's a supplement. It is what you called one more way of framing the strategy if at all unexpected, unwanted things happens to the company. So if any company is going to exhibit or else what you call implement alternative strategy means that's a great indicator to the especially the investors that they need to be very careful about their financial investments are concerned. I mean to say shares. That clearly indicates that the company is not in a good position. Maybe possibility within what you called less time the company is going to experience the dissolution or else what I would say bankruptcy. So most of the time the companies should not reach to the alternate strategy, but still it is going to be a very much useful strategy. So in order to apply whenever the unexpected situation arises in the market. So generally alternative strategies are going to be in various aspects in terms of the stability of the company, in terms of the expansion of the company, retrenchment of the company, or else combining all the above things like combination kind of strategies. Okay. So let us see technically what do you mean by alternative strategy. Strategy alternative are strategies that a business developed to set the direction for which human and material resources will be applied. Alternative is defined as something that does not conform to existing or mainstream standards. So generally an alternative is nothing but defined as one more option. So why alternative strategies are required? Business environments are highly important and executives need to be innovative and flexible to survive. So it's mean always the business environment nobody expects what will happen. Uncertain, completely volatile. So in that volatile situation, if the company need to exist, company wants to do its business means what is required, the stakeholders of the company should have that innovativeness in thinking, in implementing the services, in delivering the products to the market. They achieve this through strategic alternative that enables companies to maintain a competitive edge over rivals. So by going for alternative strategies, generally companies will have that extra asset to apply alternative strategies to have that edge over what to call upper hand over the enemy companies. Some alternative strategies include like price focus, differentiation, diversification, adjacent businesses, expansion, retrenchment, and as well as the combination. So these are few of the alternative strategies. Among his alternative strategies, now we'll discuss the corporate level international strategy. So generally this falls under expansion kind of strategies. If the companies wants to expand their services and length and breadth of the globe, generally they implement these corporate level international strategies. You will be observing after 1992, because of P.V. Narasimha Rao, former Prime Minister's policy implementations, many of the foreign companies, especially US companies, started doing, entered into the Indian markets and started doing the businesses. So what do you call these international strategies? So this kind of strategy generally useful for first time entry into the international markets. So under that one, what is the first approach? The first approach is going to be the merchandise imports and exports. Generally the most preferable business, whatever they do, is nothing but importing and exporting. So import export minimize in-house expertise cost per company. So what are the international bodies as far as the taxation is concerned? GATT is there, General Agreement and Tariffs and Trade. European Union is there, NAFTA is there, North American Free Trade Agreement. Subject to norms of these taxation, these companies will be performing the duties. So what you call this way of stepping into the foreign countries, corporate level international strategies. This is one of the alternative strategies. If any company is most of the times not doing well, if they identify that they are losing ground in their home country, generally, or else in a positive way, if they want to expand their businesses, they want to call step into the other nations. One more kind of strategy generally they apply is nothing but service imports and exports. So what are the various kinds of industries can be considered, like travel and tourism, business services. Nowadays what is happening, the IT services also being imported and exported. The best example here is nothing but the British Air Authority as far as the contracts are concerned. So service export strategies include management contract and turnkey operations. What do you mean turnkey operations? Everything will be set prepared. What is required? You need to kickstart the operations. What do you call that? Turnkey operations. The best example is British Air Authorities is having business contract to run the airports in Naples and as well as the Melbourne, that is Australian city. The next one is a licensing. Licensing means giving permission. So Walt Disney know very well entertainment is concerned. They have given license to the McDonald's fast food company to use their caricature, wonderful character, to print on their what to call the packets. I mean to say as a trademark character. So what is a licensing? A company assigns the right to patent or a trademark to another company for fee or royalty. Licenses are signed for a variety of time periods. So they will be prefixing time period, like few years, few seasons, isn't it? So licensing arrangements are subject to negotiations and tend to vary considerably from company to company, from industry to industry. This is one more way of what you called going for expansion strategies under corporate level international strategies. The next one is franchising. So under franchising, company itself will operate everything in the local markets with the help of what you call the local people or local businesses. You will be observing so many franchises of Bata. You will be observing so many franchises of what you called, let us suppose, an MRF company. So under franchises, what will be there? A special form of licensing in which the franchisor makes a total marketing program available, including the brand name, logo, products, and method of operations. Now you'll be observing even in the pharmaceutical industries also, so many pharma companies are giving franchise permissions to run their businesses. Best example is Apollo. Sub-franchises pays royalties to the master franchises. So what you call technically the payment, whatever provided to the main franchisor, you call that royalties. The franchisor most often penetrates a foreign country by permitting the franchise. The next one more way of stepping into foreign countries as far as expansion is concerned, investment strategies. So generally foreign companies will go for two types of investments. One is portfolio investment, generally what you call the foreign portfolio investment, FPI, and FDI. What do you mean FDI? Foreign direct investment. So under FPI, they go for purchase of securities, other financial assets in the another country. Their physical presence will not be exist. But as far as the FDI is concerned, they directly purchase all the assets in the different countries. They themselves will be operating all the operations of the business. So what do you mean by investment strategies? The investment strategies refers to investment by firms in assets globally throughout the world. The commonly used investment strategies are portfolio investment, strictly speaking, foreign portfolio investment. The next one is foreign direct investment. So various form of portfolio investments are loans in the form of bonds, bills, negotiable notes, shares of either voting or non-voting stocks in the foreign company. Generally, FBI means purchase of securities and other financial assets in the another country. Now let us see here what is foreign direct investment. The investment made by a firm in a foreign country is known as the foreign direct investment. So why actually they go for foreign direct investment? To enter fast growing markets. India is also considered as one of the fast growing markets. That's why if you see the changes in the past 10 years, you will be observing so many foreign companies with different kinds of services and as well as the products entered into the Indian market. Increase the sale and profits to decrease the cost. So by expanding the businesses and offering the products to the variety kinds of the markets throughout the globe, what will be there? The sales will be increased. So by that, what will be there? Indirectly, it leads to the reduction of the production costs. Safeguard domestic markets. So this is also one more important strategy now to safeguard the company operations in the domestic markets. So the companies will be entering into the foreign markets to increase knowledge of technology and management. So by doing operations in various new markets, they are going to acquaint variety kinds of skills and as well as a knowledge set. So because of these reasons, generally the companies will be entering into the foreign markets. So these are the things what we discussed till now. Let us see. So today we discussed about tailoring strategy. What do you mean tailoring strategy? Making necessary adjustments according to the company, according to the industry in the implementation of the strategies. So what are the common approaches? Like choice matrix is there, SWOT analysis is there, portfolio analysis is there. So this is what we mean by actually the portfolio analysis. Next we came to know what do you mean by competitive analysis. Thoroughly understanding the strengths and weaknesses of the competitor, which is essential, which is always helpful for the development of the company or the industries. So you need to identify the objectives, assumptions, strategies, resources, and as well as the capabilities. So what are the components under competitive analysis? Like future objectives would be there. Current strategy, assumptions, capabilities. Next one is the response. So this is the fourth unit, alternative strategy. Different types of strategies exist, like stability strategy, expansion strategy, retrenchment strategy, combination strategy. In terms of growth, divestment, investment, expansion. So what do you know alternative strategy? Strategy alternatives are strategies that a business develops to set the direction for which human and material resources will be applied. So these are the reasons why alternative strategy is required. Most of the times the companies will not resort to go for alternative strategies. It's a negative indication. The first kind of strategy is corporate level international strategy. So what are the things? Merchandise, imports and exports, services, imports and exports, licensing, franchising, The final one, investment strategies, under which what you have portfolio investment and as well as the that is FPI and foreign direct investment. Now I am going to stop here. We continue in the next class. Thank you so much.